Asik, let's start from a big picture point of view. Tell us what the idea is behind this food security emergency, and how did we get to this point where you think you have to, the only option is to declare a food security emergency? Food emergency security. Food security emergency, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we must remember that as per the amendment of the rice tariffication law under Republic Act 12708, only when there is an emergency can NFA sell its stock. So the only mandate left for NFA is to have the buffer stocking of locally produced rice. Now, the NFA since last year has bought significant volume of rice to a tune of 300,000 metric tons, or equivalent of 6 million bags. Now, the National Price Coordinating Council has approved the resolution since there are two possible ways that the food security emergency can be declared and approved by the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture. One is if there is insufficiency in supply, or if there is an extraordinary increase in prices of rice. We have sufficient volume of rice at the moment, even though we have low at 4.78 million metric tons of rice. So since the effectivity of Executive Order 62 since July of last year, effectively bringing down the tariff rate from 35 to 15%, we haven't felt the decrease in the prices of rice that we expect. With that, the National Price Coordinating Council saw it fit to recommend again to the Department of Agriculture the approval of such resolution.
So out of those two variables, there is sufficient supply, but you're noticing an extraordinary increase in the price of the staple. To what do you attribute this?
Most likely, some of because there is not so much regulation in our retail market. Rice are being sold. Even though if it is 25% broken, sometimes it can be sold as 5% broken. So there's problem in labeling. So together with the implementation of the maximum suggested retail price, the Secretary also recommended to remove the label of premium and special so that our consumers can really buy the rice according to each category, and we can avoid some confusion, because some of the rice being sold in the market are not of the category the way it should be.
So that means the problem is with the retail stores. Are you saying that?
Part of the problem is with the retail.
And apart from that, what else could be the root of the seemingly stable rice prices at that level? We are at 40 plus pesos for the regular rice. Ano kaya yung punot dulo niyan? Bukod po dun sa iniiba-iba nga po yung binibenta, yung labeling ng mga bigas.
Actually, during the last Quintacom hearing, some of the congressmen, the honorable congressmen, already recommended to the National Bureau of Investigation to really look into the matter and investigate where along the value chain of the rice we can attribute this seemingly cause of the increase of prices.
Okay. Under the food security emergency, the NFA can now sell rice to LGUs and agencies at a lower price. Am I correct? What else happens under this food security emergency?
On the part of the Department of Agriculture, actually that's our main agenda. Again, as mentioned by the Secretary, we have, NFA actually have accumulated significant volume of rice, and the next harvest season is already coming, and they have really to dispose of this volume sooner or later.
How much should we expect rice to be sold at when those stocks are released into the market?
the moment, the Secretary already announced that NFA will sell it at 36 pesos per kilo, which will give LGUs at least 2 pesos. And then we'll sell it at 38 pesos. And come late March or late February or early March, NFA can bring it down further to 33 pesos per kilo, and the LGUs can sell it now by then up to 35 pesos. So they can only put maximum 2 peso margin.
You have a 300,000 metric tons of supply. How long do you expect that to last?
It really depends on how much of the volume the LGUs and national government agencies can really take. Based on what we are looking now, we can sustain this program until the next harvest season.
Well, Asek, you did mention a significant amount of rice that the NFA still needs to sell. But how is the quality of this NFA rice at present? I mean, because this supply has been in warehouses for at least 2 months.
The definition of the aging stock that NFA can sell starts from 1 month before the technical definition of aging actually starts, which is 2 months. So the technical definition is 3 months. So 1 month prior is 2 months. So this is a very good quality of rice that NFA has.
Kasi alam naman po natin, masela ng mga Pilipino sa sa kanilang mga bigas. Sa pag sinabi nating kanin, kailangan masarap yan. And NFA actually parang nababalitaan noon na medyo matigas-tigas itong kalidad nito. Did we improve the sources or suppliers of the NFA rice?
Actually, what you are trying to mention was yung dati na NFA, because ang NFA kasi before ay nag-i-import ng talagang mga low-quality rice before. But now, because of the rice tarification law, lahat ng bigas at palay ng NFA are locally produced. So these are really good quality rice.
Asek, there's a few other things that are not clear to me about what this food security emergency is going to bring about. So are you only looking to sell NFA rice once this is declared, or are you looking to import more as well?
No. Again, as per the rice tarification law, we will import only if there's really a shortage. As I mentioned, there's no shortage yet of the staple. The only reason that the NPCC considered recommending food security emergency is because of the extraordinary increase in prices of the staple. So we will not resort into any further importation.
If this is if this takes off, if the program is incredibly successful and you deplete the NFA buffer stock, what happens during times of disaster? When there's actually when production will of course drop, and there might be an acute shortage of the crop.
There is enough again inventory on the part of NFA, and since again there is a upcoming harvest season by late February, March, and April, so we can be assured of enough stock even though there will be calamity or disaster.
As you mentioned a while ago, we were expecting to have the price go down because of the reduction in tariffs of the imported rice. I think that's 5 to 6 pesos dapat na bumaba yung presyo, but we haven't felt it, and the local rice millers have actually been complaining about this, saying that it will actually threaten the local supply of rice. Tingin niyo po ba hindi naging epektibo itong pagtanggal o pagbawas ng taripa sa bigas?
Kung titingnan natin, siguro kung hindi bumaba yung taripa, siguro mas mahal ang presyo ng bigas sa pamilihan. And you are correct, we also need to protect the local farmers and millers kasi hindi rin natin pwedeng masyadong ibaba ang presyo because at the end, pwedeng bumagsak din masyado ang farm gate price ng palay, locally speaking. And this might have an implication on the planting intention of our rice farmers. So the Secretary and the whole department is really looking on carefully balancing these concerns coming from both the farmers and of the consumer.
Once the LGU has bought the NFA rice, what happens after that? I know under the Sagip-Saka Act, the LGUs are actually encouraged to go straight to the farmers to buy from them. Pero dito po, kung pagka kinuha na po nila yung NFA, paano po nila dadalhin yan sa merkado? Ibebenta po yan sa palengke? Sila na po ang magiging in charge dyan?
Actually, nasa LGU na yun kung paano nila gagawin yung bigas na mabibili nila sa NFA. Again, they can sell it at a maximum margin of additional 2 pesos. They can do whatever doon sa, according doon sa ipapasa ng kanilang konseho. But on the part of DA, ang aming consideration is, again, for these stocks to be sold not only through the local government, but also through the national governments and other agencies as per RA 1270.
Well, Asik, I also wanted to ask about the maximum SRP that the DA is recommending to be placed on imported rice. What is their basis for the computation of that? Because on the side of the retailers and wholesalers, actually, they are expressing concern that this could affect their profits. I mean, kasi nagbabayad pa po sila ng renta, yung mga tauhan nila. So, kumaga liliit yung profit nila with this maximum SRP.
Actually, there are at least 4 parameters that we are looking sa pag-set ng MSRP. One, of course, yung international market price ng bigas. Second will be the peso-dollar exchange rate, the tariff, and the cost of bringing the rice to the Philippines and shipping cost. But we have all this information, and actually, in-increase namin yung profit margin up to 10 pesos, which normally is 6 to 8 pesos. Again, to give an opportunity for all the retailers and wholesalers to give them ample time to release this rice to the market at eventually mabenta. And as mentioned by the Secretary, the department is really planning to review this periodically every week or every 2 weeks. And we're expecting it to be at the price range of 52 to 50 pesos in the next month or so.
Asik, doon naman po sa removal ng labels sa mga bigas, I believe the DA is looking to remove the premium and special labels. Any update po on that? What will it be changed to?
Alongside the implementation of MSRP, again, the Secretary is really prepared yung pag-alis talaga ng label ng premium special and lalo na doon sa mga sako. Kasi, again, nagkakaroon kasi ng confusion and yung mga retailers, pag na-brand kasi na premium at special, kahit na yung bigas, nakikita namin yung pag-ikot namin, sila 25% broken lamang at hindi ganun maganda. But pag nalagyan na nila ng premium at special, then parang nagkakaroon sila ng authority na lagyan na mas mataas sa presyo. So we want to remove that and we want to see na meron lang na imported, local, and then how many percentage yung broken, and what type of price lang yun. So that yung standard ng retail will align with the standard na pinafalo sa international standard.
So why not crack down on the retailers harder instead of declaring a price, food price emergency, which to me sends a very alarmist kind of message to the rest of the world, right? That we're declaring such a thing. Why not crack down harder on the retailers, on their labeling, on the fact that some of them are profiteering and taking advantage of the situation?
Again, the concept of having the resolution on food security emergency is related only to the capacity of NFA to sell its stock. That's the only reason on the part of the department in seeking for that emergency declaration.
Because it needs an emergency declaration to be able to release its buffer stocks. Did we get that correct?
That is correct.
Yes. Okay. How much do we expect the NFA rice to be at the Kadiwa stores if we go there?
Actually, the NFA rice is being used to sell yung ating tinatawag na P29, the 29 peso rice for the vulnerable sectors.
29?
Aside from that, yeah, the 29 peso, this is the aging stock that's now being sold by NFA. That's the only way it's being sold. right now, again, because of the huge volume of inventory of NFA, the only way it can be sold through the LGUs or any other means without calamity or any disaster is through a declaration of food security emergency.
And again, I might have missed this, but how long do you expect this to be in place?
Perhaps as long as the stock is already out.
That would take about a month, 2 months, 1 week?
Yeah, we'll check.
Okay. MSRP, maximum suggested retail price, you were talking about it with Pauline. I mean, there is a reason price caps generally don't work in a free market economy, right? How do you expect to enforce this?
Actually, again, this is not a price cap. A price cap, you set a
Yes, but-
definite price on any commodity.
Yes.
Maximum suggested retail price is just the amount that, in terms of retail, we should not be seeing any more prices within this range. It's not
Yes.
actually price
Yes,
cap
yes.
or price ceiling.
Yes, Asek, I understand the difference, but the point is that MSRP, if you're already talking about wayward retailers who mislabel rice, who take every opportunity to take advantage of by jacking up their prices, if you already are dealing with these kinds of retailers, then MSRP, without sanctions, without penalties, I mean, how do you expect them to abide by it?
At this time, again, the DA is not eyeing any penalty, but we are already coordinating with the Department of Trade Industry. They have the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau, and then the local governments, again, we met with them earlier through the Metro Manila Council, and perhaps the other government agencies who have that power. The department has no power, again, to impose this kind of penalties. That's why we are closely coordinating with agencies who have this kind of authority or power.
So, for example, I'm a retailer and the MSRP is 58 pesos a kilo, and then I get caught selling it at 65. What happens to me then?
Again, that will be recorded and properly monitored, and there will be probably actions coming from the LGUs or the TCI.
So it's still down. The responsibility then lies with the LGU, is what you're saying.
Yes, not with the department.
Okay. And again, this is the food price emergency will be strictly for rice. Are we looking to declare such as well on other goods and commodities?
Right now, the only law that covers is a food security emergency, cover only rice. But then again, let's see if there's need for other commodities. But RA 12708 specifically mentioned only for rice.
Kasi yung kamatis po ay nababalitang napakataas din
Sure.
ng presyo. Ano po kaya yung
I
dahilan
couldn't even
nun?
find them yesterday at the supermarket.
For tomato naman, the main reason talaga last year, those areas na traditionally growing this kind of commodity were severely affected by a series of typhoons. These are regions 2, region 4A, 3, and the Bicol region. So about 45% reduction in the volume of tomato produced in the last 2 quarters last year. So talaga malaki yung naging kabawasan. Naka-apekto ng presyo going into January. But malaki na rin yung binaba ng presyo sa pag-iikot namin. From 300 peso last week or more than, ngayon nasa 140, 150 na lang. And the harvest is coming in by end January, February. So we can still expect the lowering of prices of tomato in the next coming days.